Have you ever wondered what happens when the familiar turns strange and the safety of home becomes a horror? Imagine, if you will, a typical suburban home, nestled comfortably in the heart of a friendly neighborhood. Picture a house that exudes warmth, love, and the promise of safety. This is the home of the Johnson family, a family so grounded in routine, so steeped in the ordinariness of their lives, that they could be your neighbors, or even reflect your own family. The Johnsons are a beautiful blend of four. Two hardworking parents, John and Lisa, who juggle their 9-to-5 jobs with the challenges of raising their children. Their offspring, Sarah and Max, are as different as night and day. Sarah, the older of the two, is a confident teenager with an infectious laugh. Max, on the other hand, is a quiet little boy of 6, who finds comfort in the company of his pet dog, Buddy. Their lives revolve around a set routine. The smell of freshly brewed coffee kickstarts their day. Breakfasts are a time for family bonding, followed by a hectic rush to school and work. Evenings are filled with laughter and the clatter of utensils during dinner. Bedtime stories for Max, a little television for Sarah, and a quiet nightcap for the parents. These are the rituals that define their lives. Their home is a sanctuary, a place where they feel safe and loved. The rooms are filled with the laughter of the children, the aroma of Lisa's cooking, and the sound of Buddy's playful barks. The walls, decorated with family portraits, echo stories of love, friendship, and shared experiences. This is the Johnsons' haven, their perfect little world. Their life is as normal as it gets, as predictable as the rising and setting of the sun, a family living an ordinary life in an ordinary home, on an ordinary street. But as we know, horror often lurks in the most unexpected places. Just as the sun dipped below the horizon, the family was unaware of the terror that was about to unfold. The tranquility of the evening was punctured by the first unsettling signs of the unusual. Their loyal canine companion, usually calm and composed, began to act strangely. His ears perked up, his tail between his legs, his eyes darting nervously around the room, as if he was seeing something invisible to human eyes. A low growl rumbled in his throat, a warning of an unseen threat. Then the lights started to flicker, like an erratic pulse in the veins of the house. A dance of shadows began, adding an eerie feel to the otherwise cozy living room. The flickering was sporadic, defying any patterns, seemingly random, yet it was persistent enough to send a chill running down the spine of the family. As if that wasn't enough, strange noises started to echo around the house. Soft whispers that seemed to float on the air, barely audible, yet impossible to ignore. A creaking of floorboards where no one was walking. The sound of shuffling papers from the study, as if an invisible hand was rifling through them. The whispers grew louder, the creaking more frequent, the shuffling more frantic. The family initially brushed it off. It was easy to attribute the dog's behavior to a passing animal outside, the flickering lights to a power surge, the strange noises to the house settling in for the night. The children even found it amusing, a thrilling break from their routine, suspecting each other of orchestrating a well-planned prank. But as the night grew darker, the events escalated. The dog's growls turned into whimpers, the lights flickered more erratically, the noises became more pronounced. The amusement faded, replaced by unease. The laughter died down, replaced by hushed whispers. The family huddled together, seeking comfort in each other's presence, their eyes wide with fear, their hearts pounding in their chests. The house, their sanctuary, had transformed into a stage for an unsettling spectacle. But they soon realized it was no mere coincidence or childish prank. As the night deepens, so does the mystery within the house. The unsettling occurrences that had begun earlier in the evening have now escalated, and the family home, once a sanctuary, is morphing into something sinister. The family members, their faces etched with anxiety, start to take notice of the strange happenings. Doors are closing seemingly of their own accord, cutting off rooms and creating pockets of eerie silence in their wake. Items that were once stationary are now shifting, moving in ways that defy logic and reason. A book topples from a shelf with no one near it. A chair slides across the floor with an agonizing screech. The family watches, their eyes wide with fear and disbelief. And then, the temperature plummets. A sudden bone-chilling cold sweeps through the house, seeping into every corner, every crevice. It's a cold that sinks into the skin, that makes the hair on the back of the neck stand up. It's a cold that brings with it an unmistakable sense of dread. The once familiar rooms now seem alien and hostile. The family huddles together, their breaths visible in the freezing air. They can feel it, the chill of fear. It's not just the physical cold that's causing the goosebumps on their skin, but the growing realization of something deeply wrong. The echoes of laughter and warmth that once filled this house are now replaced by an oppressive silence and a deepening sense of foreboding. The family members look at each other, their expressions a mirror of the terror gripping their hearts. The walls of their home, once filled with cherished memories and joyous moments, now seem to close in on them. The once safe haven was now turning into a house of horrors. When terror is unseen, it becomes even more terrifying. This is the cold, chilling reality the family found themselves grappling with. A haunting presence that made its home within their home, a specter they could not see, yet whose existence was palpable in every shiver that ran down their spines. Every corner of the house felt watched. It was as if the walls themselves had eyes, observing their every move with an unsettling curiosity. The air grew thick with an ominous energy that seemed to hum with whispers that only grew louder with the fall of night. Words they couldn't quite catch, conversations in languages they couldn't understand, but the intent was clear: they were not alone. The family dog, once a jovial and lively creature, now refused to step foot in certain rooms. The once familiar spaces were now territories marked by an unseen entity. The dog would stand at the threshold whining, its tail tucked between its legs, eyes wide with a primal fear. Their once warm and comforting home was now a playground for this unseen terror. The laughter and joy that once echoed through the halls were replaced with hushed whispers and fearful glances. The children clung to their parents, their eyes wide and filled with a fear that no child should know. The parents, in turn, held their children close, their hearts heavy with a dread they couldn't shake off. Sleep eluded them, for the nights were filled with strange sounds and colder drafts. The days were no better, filled with an eerie silence that was occasionally broken by inexplicable sounds. Every creak, every rustle, every sudden drop in temperature was a reminder of their unwelcome guest. It was clear to them, their beloved home was haunted by a presence they could neither see nor understand, an unseen terror that had woven its way into the very fabric of their lives. The realization was as chilling as the unseen entity itself. It was a reality they could no longer ignore, a terror they could no longer hide from. They decided they must confront this unseen terror. In the face of fear, the family decided to fight back. It was a decision born out of necessity and desperation. They began to dig into the history of their house, peeling back layers of time to uncover its secrets. Their search led them to a chilling discovery. The house, their home, had been built upon an old burial ground. This revelation was like a cold hand clutching at their hearts, but it also provided a glimmer of understanding. With this knowledge in hand, they sought out help from a local medium. A woman of wisdom and strength, she was known for her ability to communicate with the unseen. The family invited her into their haunted dwelling, hopeful she could cleanse their home of the malevolent entity that had plagued them. The atmosphere was tense as the medium began her work. She moved through the rooms, calling out to the unseen entity, her voice echoing in the stillness. It was a dramatic showdown, a battle of wills between the living and the unseen. The family watched on, their hearts pounding, their breaths held in anticipation. In the face of the medium's unwavering resolve, the unseen entity began to retreat. There were moments of intense struggle, moments when it felt as if the very walls of the house might come tumbling down. But the medium stood her ground, her voice rising above the chaos, commanding the entity to leave their home. And then, as suddenly as it had begun, it was over. The house fell silent, the air lighter, the oppressive presence that had once lurked in every corner was gone. The family let out a collective sigh of relief. Their home was their own once again. As dawn breaks, the house is finally silent. The horror has been vanquished, and the family can finally breathe easy. But they will never forget the night their home turned into a house of horrors. They had faced their fear, fought it, and emerged victorious. But the memory of this chilling encounter would forever linger in the shadows of their home.